It looks like one of America's most important allies will have a new leader sooner rather than later, but he's not going down without a fight. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he won't resign despite nearly 40 members of the Conservative government stepping down over disagreements with his leadership. That includes two of his top ministers who said they could no longer serve under Johnson, whose scandals include breaking his own COVID protocols at the height of the pandemic and the mishandling of sexual misconduct allegations against a senior party official. During the weekly Prime Minister's questions at the House of Commons today, Johnson said he'd continue on and win another general election, but even members of his own party are suggesting he make a dignified exit. Joining me now is none other than former Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage. Nigel, it is great to see you again. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. And I have to say, before we get into the detail of this, nobody does sex scandals better than the British. Because
well, Nigel, I'm so curious to hear your thoughts because I've been following your Twitter. I know you have said it's over. Well, of course, Johnson says he's not going anywhere. How does this all go down, and what does it mean for the Conservative Party there?
Well, two things to think about here. Number one is Boris Johnson's own legacy and his own place in history. It is clear he has lost the support of his own party. He's lost the support of over 50% of people who voted Conservative in 2019. Think about that. 50% of those who voted Conservative just 2.5 years ago think he should resign and do so immediately. Why has this happened? It's happened because of two things. One is incompetence, but we can live with that just about. It is the sheer dishonesty. When this recent sex scandal emerged, they came out with a whole series of denials about whether the Prime Minister knew that one of his own senior officials had behaved inappropriately with young men on repeated occasions. They denied it. They then had to admit it. They then said, whilst the Prime Minister had been briefed, he'd forgotten. And this, in the end, was the straw that broke the camel's back. We had the same over the parties going on in number 10 Downing Street during lockdown. At the end of the day, you cannot lie to the British people. You cannot lie to Parliament and get away with it. So ultimately, this is about his character. He should resign tonight with some dignity and at least have the historical legacy of getting Brexit over the line. But he won't. He won't because he is utterly self-motivated. He literally can't care about the damage he does around him. And the real problem here, he's dragging the Conservative Party, the Conservative brand, and the Conservative movement down into the mud with him. And that's what really worries me.
Well, Nigel, who then would you think will replace Johnson? And what does that mean for America's relationship with the UK?
Well, America's relationship with the UK, frankly, has been stymied by Mr. Biden, who doesn't seem to like the UK very much, despite the fact ever since 1917 we've stood together.
Does the UK like Biden?
Oh, I think the UK thinks Biden's a joke. And when the UK saw the withdrawal from Afghanistan last August, we'd fought side by side with you for those 20 years in Afghanistan. Pro rata, we contributed the same amount of money, had the same number of men killed, all right? We were with you every step of the way. And when Biden withdrew, without even consulting us, we couldn't believe it. And now, again and again, we see clips of Biden mumbling his words, losing his sentences. So the relationship between our two great countries is currently on hold. Boris naturally is pro the USA. He was, after all, born in New York, a fact that gets forgotten quite often. I can assure you, whoever comes next is going to want to have as close a relationship in terms of business, investment, intelligence sharing, NATO leadership, and all of those issues. That is not in question. The problem is that we did have Donald Trump, who was pro-British. We should have put together a trade deal. We didn't do it because the Tory government didn't get Brexit done in time. Longer term, I'm in no doubt that our countries are culturally, linguistically, historically, we're so intertwined. I mean, we literally are cousins. So I'm not worried longer term about this. What I am worried about is conservatism losing the next election catastrophically because of the selfish actions of one man who I'm sorry to say, much as he can be entertaining, much as he can be charismatic and all of those things, he's not honest. And ultimately, the Brits won't put up with that.